It's exactly 10:30 p.m. Asmara time now, and we are ready for domestic and international news for Friday, the 2nd of May. Reporting live from our headquarters in Asmara and inviting you to stay with us is Heaven Johannes, your news anchor for this session. I shall first begin with the major headlines. International Workers' Day celebration in the northern Red Sea region. Annual sports event of the Eastern Command concludes. Iran and Iraq advance plans to boost trade to $25 billion. And over 100 killed in fresh sectarian violence in Syria. In our domestic news, International Workers' Day was celebrated in the port city of Massawa at the northern Red Sea region under the theme Productivity Through Conscious Participation. The event featured sports competitions, public campaigns and seminars, among other activities. Mr. Haptamariam Tesfa Mikael, head of the National Confederation of Eritrean Workers branch in the region, said that May Day is a day when workers raise their voices and renew their pledge to work hard and increase productivity. He also gave a briefing on the historical struggle of Eritrean workers. The branch office of the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare and the office of the PFDJ also delivered messages of solidarity. Ms. Asmeret Abraha, governor of the northern Red Sea region, highlighted the significant role Eritrean workers played during the armed struggle for independence in safeguarding national sovereignty as well as in the implementation of national development programs. She also called for strengthening unity and awareness and for citizens to play their part in national affairs. International Workers' Day was also celebrated across the country, featuring various activities. In another news, the 18th annual sports event of the Eastern Command of the Eritrean Defense Forces, which was held over the past 3 months, concluded with a closing ceremony at Asab Stadium on the 30th of April. The event was attended by Brigadier General Abraham Andom, commander of the Eastern Command, Ambassador Mohammed Said Mantai, governor of the Southern Red Sea region, other regional officials, residents of the port city of Asab, and members of the defense forces. According to Mr. Haptom Tesfa Mariam, head of information and promotion of the command, the sports event involved 1,275 participants from both genders and featured competitions in football, volleyball, basketball, chess, cycling, swimming, athletics, and other sports. Speaking at the occasion, Brigadier General Abraham Andom emphasized that sports provide satisfaction to both players and spectators. He also called for enhanced efforts to organize more cultural and sports events, citing their role in strengthening unity among members and fostering attachment to their units. Awards were presented to winners of the various competitions. The Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare branch in the Mansoura subzone conducted a seminar focused on protecting children's rights and eliminating harmful practices, particularly female genital mutilation and underage marriages, which adversely affect the psychological and physical well-being of women and children. The seminar was attended by local administrators, village elders, and development partners. Participants received detailed presentations by representatives of the Ministry of Health, the National Union of Eritrean Women, and attorneys in the subzone on the importance of upholding laws that protect the rights of children and women. The discussions addressed the psychological and health consequences of underage marriages and female genital mutilation. Mr. Nahom Tesfalidet, an attorney in the subzone, and Nurse Kasete Solomon, head of health facilities in the subzone, stressed that protecting the rights of children is not optional, but an obligation. They called on the public to abandon harmful practices and safeguard the health of future generations. Mr. Tadesse Georgis, administrator of the subzone, affirmed the administration's commitment to supporting efforts to eradicate female genital mutilation and underage marriages. He emphasized the need for continuous awareness-raising campaigns to intensify the fight against such practices. Participants on their part called for regular seminars to enhance public understanding and promote greater community involvement in eliminating such harmful traditions. Do stay tuned, dear viewers, for we shall be back with the international news after the short break. Welcome back. Neighboring Iran and Iraq are advancing plans to boost bilateral trade to $25 billion annually, which would more than double the current levels. Iraqi Prime Minister's advisor Hazem al-Khalidi led a delegation this week to Tehran, where discussions focused on enhancing cross-border commerce and infrastructure. The talks included finalizing agreements on a railway between the two countries, which upon completion is expected to facilitate the transport of up to 3 million passengers per year, as well as supporting the development of border markets and industrial zones. The two sides also agreed to follow up on formulating a mechanism to settle Iran's financial entitlements, as well as the recognition of Iranian bank guarantees for exporters and investors in Iraq. Over the years, U.S. sanctions have significantly hampered Iraq's ability to settle energy debts with the Islamic Republic. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration has consistently pressured Iraq to minimize its economic and diplomatic ties with Iran. Iran is the leading supplier of natural gas to Iraq, accounting for as much as 45% of the country's daily electricity consumption of 14,000 megawatts. At least 101 people have been killed over the past 2 days in Syria's capital in fierce clash between ruling Hayat Tahrir al-Sham militants and fighters from the local Druze religious community. This is according to a report from the so-called Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The fighting is the latest episode of sectarian violence in Syria since Tahfiri militants overtook the country in early December. The security situation in Syria under the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham remains tenuous. Incidents of sectarian violence, including the massacre of hundreds in March, have hardened fears among minority groups about the now dominant militants. Since Syria's government collapsed in December, Syria has also been plagued by widespread Israeli occupation across large strips of the country's south. It has been hit by hundreds of Israeli airstrikes, mainly targeting military infrastructure that belonged to the former Syrian army. Minister of Military Affairs of Israel said on Sunday that Israel is planning to keep its occupation forces in southern Lebanon and Syria indefinitely. Meanwhile, it's reported that Israel has conducted airstrikes in the country's capital, Damascus, on the 1st of May, despite international calls for the country to withdraw its occupation forces. With this, we conclude our news for this session. Dear viewers, time for a quick recap of the major headlines. International Workers' Day celebration in the northern Red Sea region. Annual sports event of the Eastern Command concludes. Iran and Iraq advance plans to boost trade to $25 billion. And over 100 people killed in fresh sectarian violence in Syria. This was The World on Friday with ERi-TV English News Broadcast. Dear viewers, thank you for joining and have a good weekend.